We're live!
We're here! Hey, we're live!
Every time. It's like you're looking, you're trying to figure out, are we live? Aren't we live? We're live. Hello.
I mean, it's just kind of the excitement of it, right? It's like everybody's just staring at the screen. Oh, hey, we're here!
We made it. We
We
made it.
made it! We made it to the 10th episode.
Crazy. So crazy.
I can't believe it. I
It's
can't
so
believe
good to
it.
see you, my friend, as always.
As always, I've got a little party going on back here. It's definitely on record as the most ghetto party wall decoration ever, but I am totally cool with it. It's what happens when you just get back from vacation, but you want to celebrate.
And I had no idea that the celebration of what will be shown, what will be released, so that everyone can see what Christine's background looks like. I did not know this was coming.
Because I mean, you know what? I can't tell you everything, Dr. Colleen.
But what you can tell me is what the show's about.
I can. So welcome everybody to our 10th episode of We Built a Bridge. Dr. Colleen and I founded this show with the core interest of creating a funnel of conversation many hesitate to engage in. Christine, myself, is a life coach for women, and Colleen is a fractional chief culture and well-being officer to small businesses. United, we offer different perspectives on communication, culture, and life fulfillment to guide you towards a life with integrity and curiosity.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. All right. So again, we are on our 10th episode of doing We Built a Bridge LinkedIn Live together, which is crazy because it simply started out with the question of, do you want to do just one during our first ever coffee chat?
Or 1 or 10. I mean, depending on how you're looking at the screen.
So we get into, thank you, Andrew, and hey, Deborah. We get into ours, like the behind the scenes, right? And Christine has the celebration up, and I'm like, it's backwards. It says one.
Y'all, I tested it. I checked online last night. So first of all, I checked online to make sure it wasn't reversed. And then once I put this all up, when I woke up this morning, it was all on the floor. So I'm like, boy, ghetto is really speaking to me, isn't it?
Welcome to my neighborhood.
Yes.
Well, no, I love the celebration. Thank you so much for going through all that effort. It's super sweet.
It is. And I'm going to go back to the close screen so that people can see us better. Hey.
Hi, Lauren. And then we also have, I don't know who's coming in as LinkedIn user, but thank you for telling us happy 10th episode.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew, Deborah, Lauren, LinkedIn user. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I know we plan on sharing what we have in store going forward, but I never want to dismiss anyone who may be listening for the first time, or maybe they joined us during episode 5 and are now back for episode 10. So I thought it might be fun to do a quick summary of where we've been since November of 2023 in our past episodes. So obviously, we introduced ourselves, we introduced our work, we introduced how we met and got together with just the idea of hosting one show. We had a discussion around the question of, would you replace your managers with coaches, which was a fun discussion because that's ultimately how Christine and I even connected on LinkedIn back in May of last year. We talked about why I do the work that I do, which is specifically around culture and well-being in the workplace. And we talked about why you, Christine, are a life coach for women. And that ultimately turned into a 2-part episode, which we knew that it was going to be a much longer conversation. We talked about what we learned about ourselves in 2023. And as a total behind the scenes sidebar, after that episode, I said to Christine, do not ever let me wear that cream shirt on air ever again.
She really did, everybody. She's like, what was I thinking? And why didn't you tell me?
Always a black shirt. The cream does not go well with our background. We talked about communication and connection. And despite having all of these ways to be connected, loneliness is real and heavy. We have had 3 amazing guests. And then last but not least, I saved the best, even though every single one of these has been the best. But last but not least, we talked about meeting in real life in Atlanta for the first time and deciding, hey, what the heck, let's do a cold plunge. So with that, so for those of you, again, who may be new to us, or, maybe you're an OG, and maybe you do want to go back and listen to, again, past shows, we are excited to share that we have officially launched a YouTube channel. So we can be found at We Built a Bridge, which to find the link, you can find it on my LinkedIn profile right now. You can also find it on Christine's website and, of course, her LinkedIn profile. And then going forward, we're always going to tag it when we do a promotion or we do a summary for an upcoming show. And what's really cool about the YouTube channel, which some of you may know, of course, this is very new to Christine and I, is that when we stream live on StreamYard, we'll also be streaming live on YouTube, which is like super fun. I feel very hip knowing that we can do this now.
I know, to be simultaneously going through LinkedIn Live. So StreamYard helps us to do that as the platform.
Yeah.
And now we can increase our listener base and those who don't have LinkedIn accounts to listen to us through YouTube. So that's so awesome.
Yeah, we're super excited about that one. So the other announcement, which is a perfect segue in regards to listening, is you all have been talking to us through comments, through back conversations on LinkedIn, through verbal conversations, and we've been listening. Because again, this show is about our community. This is about all of us, not just Christine and I. And so that takes us to say that we want to hear more from you. We want more of your voice in our show. And the way that we're going to do it is this. So, and Christine, I'll definitely pause. Feel free to jump in to clarify. But so basically, in between every live show, we're going to release a pre-recorded episode about a specific topic for you to listen to, and then share your comments, your opinions, your feedback on this topic that we've discussed in that pre-recorded show. What we'll then do is during our live show, we're going to integrate your opinions, your comments, your feedback, all of that into the live show. So it's like you're a guest without having 90 guests, which would be amazing if we had 90 guests, but we know we can't do that, and then it would probably turn into the Wild Wild West. But so we're gonna try it that way first. One other thing to add, two other things to add, and then Christine, I want you to jump in if I missed anything, is that please know that we are going to be learning from this process at the same time. So we're going to be testing it, learning from it. Therefore, we may adjust, we may pivot, because again, the whole point is to ensure that your voice is integrated as well. And so also, please continue to share feedback on that as we work through the process. And then what's exciting is that we have planned to drop our first pre-recorded show next Thursday on both, of course, LinkedIn and then YouTube. And then we'll be promoting it and asking for you to comment. Christine, did you want to add anything there?
Listen, I am applauding you throughout my body right now, because it's a lot to share. And it can be confusing because, it's like, is it live or is it not live? When can I engage? When can I interact? The truth is, even on the recorded shows, the pre-recorded shows that we will drop every other Thursday, you can still engage. So it's almost, you can treat it like it's a podcast. And this was what we thought of is how many times have you listened to a podcast and you want to ask a question, or you want to just make a comment or applaud the person that said something that you loved, but you don't have that opportunity? We are welcoming that opportunity for you, because even during our live shows, it goes so quick. And Colleen and I have bundled so much packed into that time. We want to open up more of that time to discuss what you think and what you feel, and open the floor to discuss your comments live during that time. So, we're really excited about it. And again, so much of this is for you. Honestly, we're just having fun in sharing what we are so passionate about and what we love, which is work culture, well-being, living our best lives, which I know is so broad, but it's about making choices that help you get to where you want to go in life. And that's what we stand for. And we want to unite everybody so that everybody belongs, which means we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
How did I do, Colleen?
You did phenomenal. That was so good.
You know what? This is our 10th episode. We never had the idea that it would go this far. So I'm feeling a little bit like underdressed. Do you mind if I just,
Uh-oh.
I just feel a little bit like I should wear some necklaces that say bride, because why not? And maybe a little hat, right? And then, I don't know, sometimes you just got to slap one of these on. And you go for these. Pop-bombs! 10th episode! Oh my gosh! Let's hear it, everybody. Look, the mustache is already coming off. So this is on video, which means this is for life. I can never run away from this.
Do you always have a mustache just kind of handy, like at the house?
I do. Just in case. Just in case. I have to tell you how freaky it is to look through these glasses right now.
So fun.
I love hat.
This.
I mean, come on. This is a party, y'all. Thank you so much, Deborah. She loves the hat and the mustache. And Victoria, I love how prepared you are.
I mean, I'm feeling my bar is low, man. I did not dress up. I have a pink wig. I can go get it and put it on.
Oh my gosh. I think I have to take this part off. So, all right, there was 1 minute I was wearing it. I can put these back on for a little bit. So we still have a few things to announce about what is to come. And Colleen, if it's okay, I would love to talk a little bit about. So every third live episode, I want you to take me seriously. Every third episode that is live. Hey, Bree, thanks so much for showing up.
Yay.
We have a guest come on, and we invite guests that, I mean, honestly, we think everybody is spectacular, but we invite guests that we think really will speak to you the way they speak to us and the way that we speak to you. So we have guests lined up through the end of summer. And to name a few, like I did in my post the other day, we have Jessica Winder coming on April 18th. And oh my gosh, you all better buckle in for her. She is a powerhouse. She does not hold back. And the truth is, everything she says is the truth. So, for those of you that are tired of people walking around and not saying what they feel, you don't have to worry about that with Jessica. So we're so excited for her. And then in August, on August 22nd, this is huge. We have Bob Berg as a guest. If you don't know his name, oh my gosh, look him up on LinkedIn right now. He is a New York Times bestseller co-author of the series, The Go Giver. This is a powerful book about the meaning and impact of giving in life. It's a short read anyway. It is going to be spectacular. So we only have time to mention two, but those are the two that we just really wanted to highlight as super powerhouses and people we know you will enjoy meeting.
Yeah. I know I'm excited about both. I mean, those were two that you felt so strong about. And I mean, of course, if you feel good about them, I can't wait to meet them and to host them. So
yes, it's going to be unreal. So do I keep my bride necklaces on and my hat? Yeah. Avi. Which way is it going?
What do you know what I want to say? Avi.
Avi, and Andrew said, I'm laughing so hard. Colleen is making me laugh. Andrew, she makes me laugh all the time. And thank God for that. And Bree agrees that Jessica is the pro. She is absolutely rewriting people ops. So I'm telling you, it's a not miss. April 18th with Jessica. Whew.
I can't wait. I'm going to definitely be there.
Oh, that's great. I'll make sure to invite you. Well, this is huge. This is absolutely amazing. 10th episode. I can't believe it. We're just so excited and so much to come again with our YouTube channel. Check us out. It's at We Built a Bridge on YouTube. All of the episodes are uploaded. We will upload this episode when we wrap, and you can tune into all of them from there. And if you don't like to watch, guess what? On YouTube, you can just listen. Go for a walk, plug in, and just listen like it's a podcast. It's easy peasy.
Easy peasy. That's what my niece would say.
That's right. Your niece is very smart. Your
She
niece
is.
is very smart. So for those of you that follow us, we're going to get a little serious here. So I'll keep the bride.
Yeah, keep that on. We can lighten it up a little.
I mean, you really, nothing says 10th episode celebration like bride necklaces. That's a dollar store. I love it. So for those of you that follow us and know our routine, we typically present an icebreaker for fun. But we're already halfway into the show, and we have a few things to talk about still in honoring the show period and our overall purpose. So we're skipping the icebreaker, moving into conversation. Colleen and I shared an unfortunate commonality in our lives that occurred over the last 6 weeks. We both learned of the death of someone dear to us from our past. I found out the first week of February about a childhood friend who had committed suicide 5 years prior. So that in itself was pretty devastating. And Colleen, just 2 weeks ago, learned about the death of a close high school classmate. And, it was interesting when I was going through all those feelings that I was going through. Colleen was so supportive, saying, listen, this grief is your own. This is your journey. Nothing that I feel or anybody else feels will come between you and your grief. And it was really wonderful to have her on my side for that. And so when she told me about her high school friend who had passed away, I knew immediately all those weird feelings that were going to come into play for her, because neither of us had seen or talked to these people in a long time, but that does not take away from where they fell and always will be in our heart. And so, Colleen, when you told me, you also told me about a conversation that you and your husband had the night before. And it just really hit me. And it's really part 2 of our show today. And it's going to be leading into what we talk about on the pre-recorded show. So I would like for you to share a bit more. And again, my condolences to your loss, what you're going through. I'm sure I'm always here for you no matter what.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, so when I found out, it was a surprise that I found. I mean, I shouldn't say a surprise, but it was a surprise. It was like a random accident that I found out that this classmate of mine had died. And as I was sharing this experience with my husband, who he did not know who this person was, but I was sharing with him just how much fun that this guy and I would have, and my sister knew him, and all yada yada yada, all that stuff, right? And it like hit me in a way that I didn't expect. And so my husband, he would call me the glass is half, what is it? Glass is half empty. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is people would be shocked, I think, to hear that, but I just live my life kind of flat. Like I don't really like have these great expectations. I don't have low expectations. I kind of just be. But he, for whatever reason, is like, I don't know, I feel like you're seeing the negative in that. Like, you should think about it in this way. All that to say, when I told him about this, his comment to me was, I mean, that's why you have to live every day like it's your last. That's why you have to live your life to the fullest. And as he's saying that to me, I'm reflecting on what my uncle, who randomly happened to die at the same age of this classmate of mine, which is 49. I'm thinking of my uncle who lived by the phrase, there are no dress rehearsals in life, right? Which really falls in cadence with live it like it's your last day. And because again, I just live kind of like flat, like I don't have high expectations, I don't have low, I just kind of am like a realist, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I looked at my husband and I said, I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling BS. Because I understand what's underneath that statement. Live every day like it's your last. Live it like it's your best. There are no dress rehearsals. But I have to pay my bills. I have to put gas in my car. I have to maybe raise my kids. I have to maybe go through a divorce. I have to maybe figure out what I'm going to do now that I lost my job. My water's being turned off. I have to figure out how to live. And sometimes life gets in the way of living every day like it's your last. And that's where I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm calling BS. And again, some may say, nope, your glass is not full. I really just don't love that statement because it's just, it helps me level set my expectations of how am I going to take that, what I learned, apply it mentally to my number could come up tomorrow, right? So that's the reaction. That's the what Christine and I were talking about and where we wanted to guide this conversation next. Yes, I do see things through a positive lens. I do get it. But I just think there's a level of BS because we still have to like adult. We still, I mean, do I want to just go outside and play all day? Yes, that is what I would rather be doing. But sometimes you got to eat the crap so that you can go out and play, right? So again, I respect that statement. I struggle with the reality of that statement. And so I think we get to define, and that's probably what it is, right? We get to define what does that mean for us and adjust our mindset to make it mean what it means for us. So that's my verbal diarrhea.
Yeah. Well, Monica made a comment and she said, I don't care for that statement either. It seems like toxic positivity. So it's like, first of all, and thanks for that comment, Monica. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, Monica.
Yeah, you're awesome. So what happens, this is what happens, right? So we learn of somebody's death and we immediately question our mortality. And I remember I used to argue about that. I'm like, well, I'm not questioning my own death, but what I'm questioning is my life, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a mixed bag to think about that. And it, how do I want to live my life? And the truth is, nothing that we do is going to change until we change everything about our mindset, just like you said, our perspective. We're not going to change because we learned about somebody who passed away or the reasons why they passed away. It really comes down to what are we capable of looking in the mirror and seeing and saying, I don't want to live that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And so to live like it's your last day. I mean, that's just impossible. That's just impossible. It goes up there with toxic positivity, like, oh, don't worry, tomorrow's a new day. It's total bullshit, like you said. I mean, that's, we have to get through every day in our own realistic point of view and having to make money. And like you said, take care of the kids and, pay our bills and pay college, debt. I mean, you name it. And so it's just, I think, it's an eye opener for sure. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody who has learned of somebody who has passed away that shocked them or that they have loved or cared for, that they haven't gone introspectively. Mm-hmm. But we shouldn't confuse it with living like it's our last day.
Yeah. I appreciate that feedback because it's just, so then that means I should go, I don't know. I feel like that to me, it means I should go out and do some of the most extreme things if this is like my last day, right?
Right.
But that's not real. That's not realistic. And so, I think it's just finding that level of like realism. And that can be different for everybody, right? Yeah. Like realism for me could be taking more walks, appreciating the smell of spring and not feeling, congested like I do today from the lovely flowers that are coming. But like, to me, it's more of like, what's more realistic?
Yeah.
Which again, all comes down to mindset, but, anyways, it's just the which again, you teed this up that we'll talk about it in our next episode, but that the whole grief, navigating grief and what it does to you, what it means to you. Grief, I think we associate it so much with death, when in reality, every day we have lost something because the day is past, right?
Yes.
And so I think every day we almost have this opportunity to reflect on what was lost, grieve whatever yesterday was, and then kind of continue to go forward, which again, I know we'll talk about in our pre-record and going forward. So I just wanted to
touch on that
back in because this word grief is I just don't think we're giving it what it deserves.
No. And there are certainly, levels on the spectrum for how grief is not how grief is felt, but to the extent that grief plays a role in our lives. Because honestly, we experience grief every single day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I experienced grief because I hardly drank any water. I mean, this is going to sound silly, but then I was dehydrated and it gave me a headache. So I was like grieving what I did not do in my day. I didn't get in a workout because I was, stuck on the screen all day. There are little things or a decision that I wanted to make that I didn't do. And I was like, oh gosh, teen, like you needed to do that. And then there comes this pressure. And then we grieve that person that we were that day. And right. And it's just so interesting. We don't pay attention to it. And so what most of us do is we just go on to the next day with the same mentality. We're like, well, okay, today's a new day, but we really don't change any of those behaviors for which we are grieving over.
Yeah.
Until we really, again, look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm so tired of grieving over this. I'm so tired of feeling I'm not enough at work. I'm so tired of feeling I'm not significant in my relationship. I'm so tired of feeling like I'm not giving enough in this world. That is grief, 100%.
Yeah. And it's time to change that conversation, which we're going to do.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. The timer trapper keeper. It's watching.
Yeah. So for those of you who are new to our show, Colleen is our time bandit. In the last episode, I called her the time trapper keeper. She is the detective that always lets us know when we are getting close on time, because and you can always expect us to never go over time. Thank you to Sheriff Dr. Colleen. Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining this amazing show today. I know it was a bit of a mixed bag of celebration and then talking about heavy stuff, but ultimately that's kind of how we roll. We talk about the stuff that really matters. We get into thick and deep conversation, and then we mix in humor, because that's what life is about. If we start taking things too seriously, we're going to miss the buck on so many other things. So this is a really honestly perfect introduction if you are new to us, and thanks again for joining. But reminder, we go live like we did today every other Thursday on both LinkedIn and now also on YouTube from 12 to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also guarantee that we are as predictable as a rainy day in the spring. And that phrase will change every time. So tune into our first pre-recorded episode dropping this coming Thursday, March 28th, which will go further into living every day like it's your last and diving deeper into how we experience grief. So remember, we want your thoughts and comments so we can include them and bring them to the stage during our live show, which the live show next will be Thursday, April 4th from 12 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And live means interactive. So come ready to share, comment, the whole kit and caboodle.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I was looking at Carlos. So sweet. It's such a sad moment when you start to wrap up.
Oh, Carlos, we love you.
I got distracted.
It's not going to be the first time. We've seen it before.
Thank you everyone so much for your support and for joining us. We can't express it like enough. There just aren't enough words to say it. So thank you. And thank you.
There aren't. Have fun, talk about the serious stuff. And when you start to feel a little sad and lonely, go to YouTube, tune into one of our shows. We're guaranteeing to cheer you up. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We adore you.
Thank you. Bye.